making a change. At the start of the second half, the familiar figure. What a wonderful goal scorer. Record Depay, 42 goals in 82 caps. He got 12 goals in 10 appearances in qualifying. He was joint top scorer in European qualifying along with England's Harry Kane. This Estupiñán had 15 minutes or so to reflect on the goal he thought he had scored, almost with the last piece of action of the first half. But Estupiñán's goal ruled out for an offside against that man there, Barroso, who had stepped into the eye line of the Dutch goalkeeper, Andries Noppert. Wherever you are watching, we're so glad that you're with us. I'm sure, like us, you're looking forward to an eventful second 45 minutes. The Netherlands, as we stand, are that far away from taking their place in the round of 16. A win will do it, and if they draw, that will put Qatar on. Either a win for the Dutch or a draw will mean that Qatar, the hosts, will be out of the World Cup before their final match, which is against the Netherlands. Bergwijn, the man to depart. No changes for Ecuador from the 11 that they began with. The Netherlands record scoring first in the World Cup. Before tonight, 12 times, they won 11 and lost none. Ecuador are winless in their last 4 World Cup games against European opposition. There were certainly elements in that first half where there was enough to encourage both coaches.
Well, more than enough. Gustavo Alfaro, I don't think he'll be overly disappointed with the side's performance in the opening 45 plus minutes. More shots, more attempts on goal, just the one on target.
Referee in close quarters. He's given a free kick here. In fact, it's going to be, it was referee couldn't get out of the way of that, so he's given possession back here to Ecuador. Well, they can't outskill the Netherlands, but they can certainly outwork them in areas that will tire the opponents out in the middle of the park. It's the obvious place to start, and when you get control of that battleground, then it makes for a nervy remainder of the match for Van Dijk and company. The Netherlands didn't, incidentally, have an attempt on the Ecuador goal after Gakpo put them in front in the 6th minute. From then on, Ecuador had 5 attempts and 1 on target. Enner Valencia is now waiting for some good delivery here from Estupiñán. It's almost like a clearing header from Estrada.
Yeah, that says that the Dutch are happy to maintain the status quo. That should be catching practice, and is.
It needs to be in with more pace from Plata. It's a long time in the air there for Noppert to deal with.
And the angle was too steep. It's got to be a really world-class ball. But Depay's introduction certainly gives the Dutch more of a natural striker. Certainly not his, or wasn't his favourite role early on in his career. And that spell at Lyon, I think, turned him. I think he's certainly matured as a person, as his football certainly improved. Didn't always play the central role there for the French side, but harness those goal scoring skills. I mean, his record at international level is fantastic, isn't it?
Indeed it is. Extra headache to contend with for Ecuador at the back.
Uruguay likes to play from a more advanced effort, so from a deeper position. He likes to run onto things, but Depay has learned to use his body well, not afraid to back into defenders and give the Dutch a focal point in which Klaassen and Gakpo can play off.
Slightly heavy touch there from Noppert.
Should have come towards the ball, invited that pressure.
Here's Plata, Estupiñán gets it on his favourite left side. It's a goal.
For Ecuador. No trouble at all for Enner Valencia. And the Ecuador captain has now scored each of the last 6 goals for his nation in the World Cup.
The only question is, did he stay onside? Did Valencia hold his nerve? Just a minute's half time, a super hit from Pervis Estupiñán, who's got a real cannon of a left foot. And the goalkeeper wasn't able to hold it, which I would have expected to push it wide of the post. Now, this is where the trouble all started. As I said, the goalkeeper, Noppert, has got to come towards that ball. It's a casual play from Frenkie de Jong. They're out hustled in the middle of the park. And there's no right back. Van Dijk has got his onside, clearly onside. Being played on by Nathan Ake. Van Dijk has got to get to the ball, I mean, that's casual defending. Got to throw yourself as a challenge. The Dutch captain.
Ake. Brink. Klaassen to de Jong. Depay. Away by Torres. Well, he is Ecuador's all-time record goal scorer, and that is very healthy at the very highest level, isn't it?
Oh, what a record. So that was the only question as to whether he held himself onside. Ake really can't step up in that situation. He's got to be pessimistic as a defender and expect his goalkeeper, to spill it in a way. It was a tough one to deal with. I'm not going to blame the goalkeeper at all. Noppert absolutely did his best. It was really hit with venom. And once again, I go back to the Dutch captain not throwing himself at that football. If that deflects off him and over the goalkeeper, fair enough. But the Ecuadorians finally, their fans have come to the party.
Netherlands corner. Okay, on the climb to meet that. Clever back heel from Mendes. This is Estupiñán.
tempo. That's the way to beat the Dutch. Hustle them out of their stride. So they won the ball back. So they thought they could rush them. I said it won't be skill that gets them back on level terms. Well, they could be, of course, but in terms of consistent penetration, and they'll have to do it through force, and they managed to do it.
Well, we mentioned the pace that Ecuador have got, a young team. They've got the tools to hustle Van Gaal's side. Koopmeiners. Well, the Dutch were expecting a corner there, but the assistant pointed his flag to signal a goal kick.
Lovely strike, wasn't it? Ball was stolen by Caicedo. And then there was a quick play, and the Dutch were caught out on that right side.
Really not much that Noppert could do there, because it was really well struck from Estupiñán.
He's a superb technician. He gets that dip on the ball as well. It's rare to see Estupiñán actually hit the ball, with great height. And low and hard into the ground. Any goalkeeper would have found that difficult to push that one away side of your goal.
Three teams in this Group A currently on 3 points after Senegal's opening win in the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022, 3-1 against the hosts earlier today. One of these two will be going to the top of the section.
Well, no doubt the Dutch will be happy with a draw tonight.
And the reason for that, of course, is that they, without being disrespectful to Qatar, it's a huge leap in the quality of opposition that the hosts are meeting at this World Cup, but they are lying in wait for the Netherlands next, which means Alfaro's Ecuador will be playing Senegal.
Yes, with all at stake in place in the last 16.
For all the quality that they've got in their lineup, just over an hour now since the Netherlands' last attempt on target.
Well, scoring first and as early as they did can sometimes be detrimental to actually your game plan, because the players' mentality changes from punters to punted. And what we're witnessing now is that fascinating change in psychology of players and teams. And when you score a goal, as Ecuador have now, they're somewhat satisfied with things. They'll probably take the foot off the accelerator. The Dutch now will feel as if they have to be back in control of the game, but with the knowledge that a draw is a good result for them, allow them to sort of press forward at the cost of being exposed on the counter-attack.
We've got a yellow card for Jackson Mendes, the first booking of the game. Challenge on Memphis Depay. And it's a costly one for Mendes because he's out of the game against Senegal. So the industrious Mendes will not be a part of that Ecuador midfield in that vital final group match, and there'll be plenty on the line against the CAF qualifiers.
Yeah, it's a careless one, isn't it? With Depay so far, they're pretty much on the halfway line. And so the Barcelona man is adept at protecting the football from his backside into opposing players. Just accept that he's not going to do anything special and let him play the ball.
Very well respected. Alfaro spent a lot of his coaching career with clubs in Argentina. The Ecuador fans have really liked his stewardship since he took over just over a couple of years ago. They've looked to Brazil and Argentina and Colombia and Uruguay in the face, and they've been far from overawed. Preciado. And the tee's blinked into a challenge. Not a bad ball in. He drops the platter. Oh, he's so lucky. So close to a second goal for Ecuador. Gonzalo Plata. And he rhymed at Noppert, the goalkeeper, a mere spectator.
The dancing feet from Preciado on his near side. That's what you call a thunderbolt. Crossbar was shaking for a few moments. And the goalkeeper realises there's no point in me even fully committed to that. That one is once again travelling with real speed.
Daley Blind. Depay. This is Koopmeiners.
How brave do Ecuador want to be? Nobody really sense blood. They feel as if the Dutch are there for the taking. They may go for it. They've got a win will put them in a super strong position going into the last game.
Here's Klaassen.
Didn't see much wrong with that tackle, that's a foul. And Stupinian took ball and Gakpo. He was just trying to use his body to shield it away from Ecuadorian wing back.
Well, this man, when he took over, discarded older players such as Antonio Valencia, Felipe Caicedo, Christian Noboa for younger blood. And he's getting the balance right. He's got his captain, Enner Valencia, and some other experienced players, but it's working. Stupinian, what an athlete he is. Constant menace when he makes those runs down the left flank.
And once again, a pretty good delivery. On the volley, I mean, this guy, the appreciation of what's required for a teammate, even on a run like that, was impressive. Somebody could keep up with him.
Preciado. Good challenge from Poroso. Sticking tight to Depay. Koopmeiners. Ian de Jong just trying to get control of that midfield area now. A little bit second best in this second half. Klaassen trying to poke it forward for the onrushing Depay. Van Dijk reading that well up against the thrust of Estrada.
Here's Valencia. He's going to have to go it alone here. Tries to cut back, finds Estrada. Just couldn't get any purchase in the shot under pressure from Ake.
And that was a telling factor. Missed kick in the end, wasn't it, from Mikel Estrada? I guess Estupiñán was taken out in the play. He wanted a free kick. If he played advantage, even if he thought it was a foul. His tempo certainly suits Ecuador right now. It's not all out attack. They've also been very clever and they've not been, you know, bringing up that defensive line too high and allowing the Dutch to play, but seizing those opportunities. There we go, when it's not a perfect pass to steal the ball.
Well, since the Netherlands took the lead in the 6th minute, Ecuador have had the next 11 attempts of either team in the match, 3 of them on target. Not many teams, certainly since Van Gaal came back for a 3rd spell, have done that to his team. You know, not flattered by that Valencia equaliser, in no shape or form. It's almost as if the Dutch are looking to establish a different tempo to the match here now, just finding some time on the ball, settling themselves mentally.
It's a preferred one, isn't it? Patience. Slow, medium, but they do need a little bit of quick in their game, and Klaassen has been denied that opportunity to get beyond the back line because there's been a big gap between the...
A good ball from Klaassen.
Tough, a little bit close. Just wasn't able to adjust his feet. Tim Koopmeiners. Yeah, they've allowed a gap between the middle of the park and the defensive line and said, well, if you're going to make that run, anybody from the Dutch midfield, it's going to be a long one, and we can see it coming a long way. Now more condensed midfield and defensive line for Ecuador. That gives that little bit more chance for the Dutch to get through. Looking a little bit glum, aren't they, right now, the supporters of the Netherlands?
Yeah, there was a look of concern amongst the Dutch fans. They're not used to seeing their side not create the usual glut of chances. Drums are still beating, but not quite as loud and as rhythmically as earlier.
Almost under duress, it seems.
There was a considerable body of opinion when people were assessing Ecuador going into this World Cup. Kept coming up time and time again. It was a young squad. Is it going to be 2026 before they fully mature? But you know, you always get the feeling that we're here now, we're going to be competitive. Put anybody up against us, nobody's going to roll us over. Yes, okay. And again, wanting to be due respect to Qatar. You know, it was a pretty comfortable opening group stage win. This is their first major challenge, and they're rising to it.
Yeah, win, lose or draw, they'll get a good idea of where they are as a nation, as a collective unit.
Still the controlled possession for both teams.
Will Louis van Gaal look to change things up? Talks about how Ecuador have to decide whether to stick or twist and to try and win this game, take the pressure slightly off their last game against Senegal. And likewise for the Dutch, wouldn't leave things to chance.
Estrada looking for Plata.
The danger about thinking you've got the weakest in the group, the last of the group stage, that you take your eye off the ball for the remaining, 20 or so minutes in this match, and the substitutions, they could could sometimes be attacking ones, but if the mindset is not quite there from the players on the field and the message doesn't come across from the coaching staff, then you will not get the right results. At this stage, it's more to do with what's in the mind as opposed to the legs. There's no extra time today.
Steven Berghuis is coming on for the Netherlands to replace Davy Klaassen. Straight swap in midfield. It was Klaassen who took Berghuis's starting place from the opening group match after scoring the man going off against Senegal. Berghuis, a favourite of Van Gaal's for his good left foot, plays for Ajax. It's a controlling presence, generally speaking, when he's out there in those midfield areas. Inventive.
Yeah, different type of play completely to David Klaassen. He's had more control on the football, and that's an area that they've been outworked in. He's not a worker in that regard, like Moses Caicedo or Edson Mendes. Another one who specialises in ball control and manipulation. So Van Gaal sticking to principles and looking to completely wrest control and perhaps tire Ecuador out in the middle of the park just by starting in the middle of the football.
th minute in Doha, Group A of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022. Cody Gakpo scoring for the Dutch. Enner Valencia for Ecuador. Both goals coming in the early minutes of each half. Sometimes it's the only way of stopping Pervis Estupiñán. Van Dijk. Berghuis. Ball out. Daley Blind's best attempts, but it was driven quickly at him by Berghuis. Ecuador willing to turn to their bench for the first time in the game. That's Jeremy Sarmiento, one of 3 players from English Premier League club Brighton and Hove Albion in the Ecuador squad at this World Cup. Came off the bench in the opening group stage win against Qatar. Let's look again at the equaliser for Ecuador, set up by Estupiñán. High-tech, semi-automatic offside decisions used at this World Cup. Artificial intelligence, software to track players, and a special sensor in the ball aimed to speed up decisions. And he was clearly onside on the touch off the goalkeeper. And that sensor in the ball, by the way, is providing data at 500 frames per second, 10 times faster than current technology.
Ball played through that Ecuador defence. Flag stays down, but eventually it's up. Yeah, he's only 5 yards offside. He was almost embarrassed to actually follow through with that Cody Gakpo. He thought, well, okay, the flag's not gone up. I've not heard a whistle. Why not? Yeah, that's a good line of held.
Well, there has been an edict that when it's that clear, Ecuador would have liked possibly to have seen the flag a little early. It's not good for the old heart when we believe that the Dutch are going to have a chance to retake the lead. So here comes Sarmiento replacing Michael Estrada,
who nearly put his nation 2-1 up with a thunderous strike off the crossbar of Andries Noppert. It's Gonzalo Plato actually in Plato this service.